Well, Nike. 25 years inside the biggest names in the world, the kind of seats that people spend a career trying to land and a lifetime refusing to leave. What a great place to retire, Nike. Well, not Sheridan Hall, not my next guest. He walked away from all of it. Not for a bigger title or a bigger brand, not for a better package, but for a cause that actually matters. Veterans, active military spouses, the people who served, came home, and then ran in straight into a hiring system that can't even read their resumes. And worse, some don't even try. You should be ashamed of yourself, by the way. He started Operation Hired with his brother, a lieutenant colonel, to fix it. Not advocate, not just raise awareness, but to fix it. Place them, hire them, build careers for people this country owes a hell of a lot more to than just a thanks for your service. He had a super safe seat in the industry and gave it all up to fight for the people the industry forgot. That's what Out of Line is all about. I love working with Sheridan. I have been networking and talking with him for several months now, and I can't wait to be able to do something for his company as well. Let's get into it. Welcome, Sheridan Hall. Thinking today, Sheridan, how do we get connected? Because we've been talking for a long time, networking. You've been helping me test my site. And I I can't remember who introduced us. It's like last year sometime. Do you remember?
I was thinking about that this morning too, and
Real?
and I was like, how did we get connected? And
No.
I don't know if I reached out to you or you reached out to me,
It
and
was an intro of
yeah,
somebody who was like, "I know somebody in staffing who can look at your app,"
I-
and,
yeah,
ever since, so we'll have to go
fast
back and look.
friends. Like,
Sorry, friend, that we're forgetting you introduced us. We'll give you credit later.
yeah, and we hit it off. We're good buddies,
We
So
are
love
good
it.
buddies. Yeah, you've
Yeah,
been such a help with me testing my system, and I'm gonna bug you. I have a new system now. I'm gonna bug you to test that too.
love to.
But this isn't about me. This is about you. So, one of the things I was really always, fascinated by was the fact that you started this business and you're so focused on helping veterans, spouses, etc. So, I would love to walk through your background and just and really how did you get to that point? And of course, like, I laughed at you early on because I was like, oh, you're in staffing now. You switched from corporate recruiting to staffing. It's just such a whole new beast, right? It's just like a different
Yeah,
world. And
yeah,
you were in
huge
some
change.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
pretty big name companies you worked for.
yeah. That's the joy of being here in Silicon Valley, where it's nice and sunny today.
Yeah, you had to sit
Yeah,
outside and rub it in. Fine,
got the
fine,
roses going in
fine.
the background. It's coming up.
Yeah, nice touch, nice touch.
Yeah, it's a funny journey actually. I went to college and wanted to be a police officer, and so interviewed with several departments. Never got hired, and it was like, oh my god, what am I
Mm,
going to do now? So
yeah,
got a job with Hertz Rent a Car as a manager trainee, and went through their program, became a manager, and just realized that a career in rental car wasn't for me.
yeah.
Not that it was a bad business. It was just, they, when you get promoted, you have to relocate, and you don't really get to stay in where
Oh,
you go. And listening to
really?
my boss say, I've
I didn't
lived
know
in
that.
5 states in 5 years. And I did that a lot growing up as a kid. My dad worked for the airlines. I don't think I spent more than 2 years in a school until I got to high school.
Oof.
And I just didn't want that for me. So
Yeah.
I got referred into a company, Applied Materials here in the Bay Area, to be a recruiting coordinator, which is an admin for the recruiters that they had. And, here we are 26 years later, still doing recruiting. And, and being here in the Valley, you do get to work for, a lot of the big companies. I've been a contractor at Google and Yahoo, and full-timer at Facebook and Apple and Amazon.
Mm,
Worked at Whole Foods corporate when I lived in Austin for a few years, doing their
cool.
recruiting. Left Whole Foods to go to Amazon. And then what do you know? Amazon
Oh,
buys Whole Foods.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
to
funny.
Intuit, and then off to my last corporate gig was with Nike. 3 years at Nike.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's been a fun ride.
what? Yeah. Which one was your favorite?
That's a good question. I have friends from every company that I work at.
That's cool.
Uh, I really enjoyed my time at Apple. I was there for 4 years.
Mm,
Really enjoyed my time there, and I really enjoyed my time at Intuit. I learned a lot
mm,
working at Intuit. That was a great learning experience for me. I've learned a lot at every company.
yeah.
And then Nike was really fun because as a fan of Nike all my life, like getting in there to
Yeah.
see how the sausage was made.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think they have one of the coolest corporate campus.
Oh,
That campus is
yeah.
pretty legit out there in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. So what do you think what was your biggest takeaway from either Intuit or Apple?
I think it was really at those companies, I had the opportunity to really deep dive into a lot of the decision making behind hiring. So a lot of
Mm,
other companies, as a recruiter, you are focused on hiring the best candidates for those positions. But at those two companies, I was able to participate in the meetings as to why. So why are we
okay.
building this team? What's the rationale behind it? To sit there with the finance people to go over, how we're going to pay for these positions that we're going to hire.
Mm,
Why are they going to be in this salary band versus that salary band? What's the strategy behind it? The one cool thing about Apple at that time is that I did get to sit in a meeting about the iPad before it came out.
did
And
you
so it was like,
really?
okay, we're
That's
working on this
cool.
thing called an iPad. Here's what we're going to be doing. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But to learn the why behind the decisions
Yeah.
was interesting to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's fascinating to hear like how process driven a company like that is because
Mhm.
sometimes I don't know, I think like the larger a company gets, the less that happens, because it's hard to monitor. So it's cool to hear and no surprise with the success of those companies especially and that you enjoyed working for them.
It's actually pretty strict. It was the smaller
Hmm.
companies that were like, well, how much should we pay this position?
Yeah.
I think this much. I think this much. And when you get into
Oh,
larger
yeah.
companies, you have a manager saying, okay, I need to build a team, I need to hire these positions. And then you've got the finance person sitting there saying, well, your budget is this.
Yeah.
So you can't hire all those people because you're going to go over budget. And then you start talking about, well, I need an engineer level 3. Well, they cost this much. Okay, if I hire an engineer level 2, then I'm only
Yeah.
expecting this much productivity out of them. So I can pay them
Yeah.
within budget, but then that lost productivity, where do I get that somewhere else? It's those type of
Mm.
decisions. It's pretty regulated. And it's funny when I talk to people,
Yeah.
they think that, you know, oh, we'll just pay them that much. No problem. Just make them an offer. It's like, like there's
Mhm.
a whole process, whole system.
Yeah.
Every offer that goes out needs 5 people to approve it. There's a whole system behind it. And that you see people's eyes light up when I explain that to them. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't I might not be this might not be a popular opinion here, but I hope that I hope I get that big, right? Don't we all?
You're right. Say it.
I don't want to
Well,
have I don't want to have I don't want to be that strict. I don't want to have, that level of approval where, a recruiter cuz how long does that take at times? And then it's
if
like,
one person's out of the office, it could take 2 or 3
yeah.
days, and you've got a
Yeah.
candidate waiting to get a job offer. And
Yeah, and
I just like this VP, and I can't get a hold of them. I just need them to okay this, which most of the time they're like, oh, finance approved it. Okay, I approve. You know,
right.
yeah.
It's just red tape that I think gets wrapped up in it just unnecessary. And it's funny, I was talking to somebody about this book. I read the Netflix book, No Rules, Rules, I think it's called. And they don't have anything like that. They have no red tape. They have no, real stringent processes and regulations. Now, this is the total extreme.
Yeah.
And talk about eyes lighting up. I was like, "Oh, I don't even know." Like, they don't have any rules on spending. None.
Wow.
So if you need to, you have $1 million project that you need to, you're marketing and you need to roll something out, you just roll it out.
Hmm.
You own it then. You own everything around it.
Yeah.
They hold people very accountable. But there's a lot of trust there. It's really interesting, that philosophy. And I don't know if I would go that extreme, but I feel like I lean more towards that. I've been under the red tape and I've been in more flexible environments too. I don't
Hmm.
know. I just feel like I had more success for myself. And here, oh, I'm here knocking Apple. I sound
Yeah,
like an
well,
idiot, but
that with their hiring process, right? Everything is, they control every last penny.
yeah.
I worked at Facebook for a while, and I wanted to go
Oh yeah,
do
how was
some
that?
working with veterans. And I said, look, I had to get approval to go attend a conference. And yeah, I had one person they came back. I made my pitch as to why I wanted to go, and they came back and said, all right, Sheridan, what do you need?
Mm,
And to me, that was pretty amazing. I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, great. Like, yeah, awesome. Thank you for being supportive.
yeah,
Right. That was pretty
right.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So you do all this, you have all like really kind of safe environments, especially with these big companies. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of great opportunities. And then you just give it all up and start your own staffing company. And you had done corporate recruiting.
Yeah. Never done
So
staffing.
please, please, please.
Yeah.
And your yeah, talk about that and your partnership with your brother, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
people are a little shocked when I tell them I've never worked at an agency, because as a recruiter, like, nobody goes to college to be a recruiter. Like, every single one of
No.
us fell into this line of
Oh
work.
yeah.
And when I recruit recruiters, that's one of the questions I always ask is, how did you get into this business? Right.
Yeah.
Because there's no degree in it.
Mhm.
Like, for me, I got referred in to be the admin to the recruiters, and then I became a recruiter and just went from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have two brothers in the military, and while they didn't struggle, I heard all the stories about,
Mm,
their friends and their comrades kind of getting out and struggling to find a
yeah.
job and find the right job. And I always knew in every company I worked at, I always try to participate in the veteran hiring initiatives, right? And it's funny, I
Yeah.
always have to talk my way in because I'm not a veteran. And they were like,
Ah,
why do you want to be in here? I was like, look, I want to help, right? And
right.
they'd always let
Nothing
me
wrong
in.
with that.
But I always wanted to help, and I always knew in the back of my mind, like, I want to do something more veteran focused at some point in
Mhm.
time in my career.
Yeah.
And I was working at Nike. I loved it, but I could see the writing on the wall. The CEO left,
Mm.
and the CEO had come in
Alright.
to build Nike's technology infrastructure. That's why me and a lot of other recruiters came in and to help recruit the people to do that. And then when he
Okay.
left, you could see the writing on the wall, like Nike was shifting gears again, and they
Ooh,
had
okay.
started to go through some layoffs. So I knew, as a recruiter, I've been laid off multiple times. It happens. I saw it coming.
Yeah.
And so what really prompted this was my older brother sent me his resume. I said, hey, I'm looking for a gig. Can you look at my resume? I looked it over. I read it. I called him up 3 minutes later. I said, bro, I have no idea what I'm reading here. I don't know
Oh.
what you did. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it is not it doesn't translate easily for the rest
it
of us.
doesn't. That's,
You're right. I've read some, military, and I'm like, "Okay, let's" yeah.
yeah, like,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, like what? I'm like, what are you looking for? Like, and so we
Right.
went through and rewrote his resume line by
Okay.
line. And
Mhm.
he's a lieutenant colonel, like, he's a big deal. And
Yeah.
he was like, what do you mean you don't understand? I'm like, dude, I don't.
Right.
And it kind of like opened up this Pandora's box of, like, there's
Mm.
a million other recruiters like me that look at those resumes and say, I don't understand what you
Yeah.
did. I'm going to the next resume.
Yeah, because
And right.
it looks like you did nothing, right?
Yeah.
It's
Or
awful. Yeah.
I can't go to the hiring manager and try to convince them to talk to you, and I can't even understand what you did.
Right. And they're
And
probably more qualified than
yeah.
any other candidate in line.
On a side note, I had a story. I was working at Apple, and I was trying to
Mhm.
get this. It was a supply chain role.
Mm.
And they're taught, now it's fascinating in and of itself, learning how the phones go from the boat to the train to the truck to the stores to the
Mm.
distribution center. Is it a
Yeah.
7-day boat? Is it a 5-day boat? All these things that came in, and we're looking for a supply chain person. And I had this veteran. I'm like, look, this guy got supplies to troops in war zones.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
they can
Yeah.
do this job.
Yeah.
And I couldn't convince the
That's
hiring manager. And that was one of those eye-opening moments. I've had several of them, but just like, okay, like, there's got to be a better way to get somebody who can clearly do this job
yeah.
in front of these hiring managers to get them interviewed and hired. So talking with my brother, I said, hey, look, man, I got this idea. You're looking for a gig. I can see the writing on the wall at Nike here. Like,
Mm.
what do you think about starting this business? So I've got 25 years of recruiting experience. You're the veteran. What do you think? And he said, my brother had tried before to start a nonprofit to help veterans. So I knew
Okay.
he had some interest in this
Yeah.
space. And we just, over a period of time said, yeah, let's do it. And so started kind of putting in the processes, got the name, got the logo, got the website, kind of slowly chinked away at it until we were able to do it full time.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell me about each of your roles. How do you each contribute?
Yeah. So my brother Matt is the CEO, and
Wait.
we are a service disabled veteran owned small business.
Mhm.
And so he's a lot of the connector, the running of kind of like the business. Like he's out in the community meeting with people, talking about Operation Hired. He's a very good public speaker. So he
Mm.
does a lot of that. We're headquartered in Indianapolis where he lives.
Okay.
And so he's very active in the community there, helping us with a lot of our operational stuff, our back end stuff. And then I come in as the kind of operations guy /
Yeah.
recruiter. So I do a lot of the working with clients on talking about recruiting strategies and hiring strategies and candidates. I do some of the recruiting. I
Yeah.
will, I'll find recruiters come in and help us on various projects and kind of
Oh,
manage
good.
that process.
Mhm.
And so we split it up pretty well. Yeah.
So that's great. And have you always gotten along your
Oh
whole
no.
life? Like, how does that, Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome working with your brother because there's no HR. Like what are you gonna do? Go run to mom?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
my
exactly.
mom's not gonna, she's just gonna say, like, my mom will just gonna say, I'm sure you boys will figure it out. Right.
I love it. I
So
love it.
yeah, it's awesome because there are days where he's having a day, right?
Mhm.
Or I'm having a day. And it's like, look, bro, we'll pick this up tomorrow. Like,
Mm.
right. You need, I can tell you need a little space. We'll pick
Yeah.
it up. And there are times where
Well, that's
we'll
good.
do a call and there will be other people on the call. And maybe one of us are having a bad day and the call will end and he'll call me like, you okay, man? Like, and and
Mm.
I do the same for him. And then that's awesome because you're not coworkers. That's the brother
Right.
call. That's the brother. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you okay, man? What's going on? Like,
Okay.
your girlfriend driving you crazy. Like, tell me
Right.
what's happening. Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so we can have those calls. And I think that
Good.
makes it a lot more fun. Uh,
Yeah.
because there's also no quitting. There's no like, look, I can't work with you anymore. I'm out of here. Like, like we're in this till the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't exactly walk away from it. I mean, you have any other partner. If you want to cut
No.
ties, you cut ties. You
Yeah.
guys are gonna
No.
have to figure it out.
Yeah. You get mad. You're like, yeah, well, what? And then it's like, you're going to be at mom's for Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll see you there.
Right,
It's,
right,
it's like,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So what's the biggest lesson you've learned so far running your own business?
I have no idea what I don't know.
Ooh.
You start this. I'm like, hey, I've been doing
Mhm.
this for 25 years. I know recruiting. And my first year, I look back and realize, wow, I really didn't know a lot of stuff. I thought I did, but I
Yeah,
didn't. And now,
yeah,
2 years, I look back and say, yeah, that I'm
yeah.
still learning a lot. And all the little things that come up, you know, insurance, running a business, right? You want to have an email address. Well, that costs money.
Right.
But it's also just working with clients and learning how to run the business, to be the face of the business, and then also, interviewing candidates and doing the
Mhm.
kind of the whole thing and
Yeah.
still learning the industry and
Uh,
yeah, various
right.
parts of the country.
That's
Yeah.
that I don't think anyone's mastered staffing yet, recruiting in general either, but especially staffing. There's always a news story when you're dealing with candidates and clients,
Yeah.
especially.
And people in a lot, I think a lot of people forget that there is a person behind that resume.
Yeah.
And as a recruiter, sometimes you're just so focused on getting the role filled. You got a manager like,
Mm-hmm.
look, I'm losing production. I'm losing money because I don't have a person here to do this job. And so as a recruiter, you're scrambling to try to get somebody hired. But sometimes it's very
Yeah.
easy to forget that that is a person on the other end of that resume.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
to, treat them with respect.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They don't
So
hear the
how?
hiring manager yelling at you.
Oh, I know. I know. So, what do you think? Gosh, I've been doing this now, coming up on a year running my business, and I've made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. And I think I'm finally like catching my stride and not catching my stride. I'm not there yet, but I'm like about to. I think I
Uh-huh.
finally have some things figured out. What has that been for you? What has been, something that you was a hard lesson, something that mistake you made starting up?
I same way. I look back to when I started and just like cringe, like I can't believe like I ran meetings that way.
All right.
Like, you know, I
Yeah.
like I would meet with clients and I would have this whole PowerPoint. Like, let me explain to you about Operation Hired, and we run through it. And now I look back, I'm like, what were you thinking, man? Like,
Right.
they don't want to see
It's
that. Like,
funny. It's funny.
um, it's been it's just been for me always as an introvert going out and actually being proactive and talking to people.
Mm.
And once I think for me, like doing the sales calls, right? Like what
Yeah.
I always thought of sales as the used car salesman, and it's not that at
Yeah.
all. It's
Well.
being a consultant. It's like, hey, I
Hmm.
need some marketing done. I'm gonna talk to a marketing professional to help
Hmm.
us do marketing. And I
Yeah.
view that as when I go to talk to somebody that says, yeah, I'll talk to Operation Hired. It's really just diving in about how can I talk to you about what you have going on in your world
Yeah.
and where I can potentially help you, where I can just give you some free advice, or
Hmm.
where I can even tell you, you know what, sounds like you got things locked up. You don't need me. And
Yeah.
instead of going in and trying to sell, it's more of just having a conversation and getting to know somebody.
Yeah.
I think that has been a big shift for me. And, and that's helped quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that I've experienced that as well. In my early days, I used to say, "I'm not a salesperson. I would never want to be a salesperson."
Yeah.
Thinking about the cheesy lines and stuff. But you're right. It's if you look at it as more of a partnership, like you're helping somebody. Like Sheridan, you believe in your company, so you know that you can help companies and candidates find each other and make a difference. So I think that's would you think do you think that is part of that revelation is like you have something you really believe in and you want other people to believe in it too and genuinely help them?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things, right? I had a coach, a professional coach for a while who's also a friend of mine. And,
Mhm.
I was telling her, hey, I go on these sales calls. I'm really nervous, you know? And she said, Sheridan, you've been doing recruiting a long time. It's like the
Yeah.
first time you get on the phone with a candidate, are you looking for them to accept the job? I said, no, I just want to talk to them
Mhm.
about their experience and what they do, what they know, what they want to do at the next step in their career. So, well, how are these sales calls any different?
Mm.
Blew my mind. So now,
Yeah.
yeah, I go in, I just want to talk to you, Tiffany, about what's going on in your world. How's hiring going for you? Where could we potentially step in and help if you need
Yeah.
it? And it's made those calls a lot more fun and just getting to know people and building a
Yes.
rapport. And sometimes they don't hire us, and that's
Mhm.
totally fine, right? They
Mhm.
don't need us.
Mhm.
But a lot of times too, it's talking to companies and they say, well, we post the job and then we see who applies.
Mm.
And then I said,
Yeah.
well, that's it. There's, we can do
Uh,
that and so much more for
right.
you. We're 100% dedicated to finding people to match this position and then talking to them about different things that we can do to help accelerate their hiring, different ideas to market the position to different people. And then as working with veterans, really trying to understand like, hey, we are tapped into the veteran network. We can definitely find, a veteran to help you in this position. And
Mhm.
here's why hiring veterans can be a really good thing for your business, right? And
Yeah.
same with military spouses. For a lot of remote roles, we really try
Yeah.
to look at military spouses.
So let's talk about the candidate side a little bit.
Mhm.
So, um, are you centrally located? Do you hire all over the place? Like, how do candidates apply with you, reach you? I want to talk about that whole process.
Yeah, we do. So I go out and talk with some of the veteran groups here locally in Northern
Mhm.
California, at some of the universities as well. My brother
Okay.
does that in the Midwest where he is. We try to be involved with a lot of online groups for veterans. We try to do it. We're about to put a big marketing push out for our resume generator, which I could go into in a
Nice.
minute. Uh,
Yeah.
and then, so we try to be, really out there in the community and make
Mhm.
us easy to find. Operation Hired is amazingly wasn't taken. And so when we were trying to come up
Yeah.
with a name for the company,
Yeah.
uh, it was like, oh my gosh, like some company did a hiring sprint one time and called it Operation Hired.
Huh.
But as a company, it wasn't grabbed. So we grabbed it. So we're pretty easy to find online. Um, and so we try to really spread the word as much as we can. We have a
Yeah.
careers page on our website where the jobs are posted so people can apply to those jobs directly. And that's how we try to get out and really make ourselves known in the veteran community.
Yeah.
in addition to attending conferences
Right.
and trying to be out there as much as we can.
Where are your clients and where do you look for clients?
Right now, we're pretty agnostic, but we try to
Mm.
target industries that tend to hire veterans and tend to be a strong match for veterans. So
Mhm.
we've worked, surprisingly enough, with a lot of higher education. We've actually worked with several
Okay.
universities to hire professors and also,
Okay.
administrative non-professor type of positions, which I never thought I would get into, but it actually turned out to be
Yeah.
an amazing
Yeah,
experience.
same. No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
great.
and then, working also in a lot of manufacturing and supply
Mhm.
chain companies. So we've worked with
Yeah.
manufacturers that manufacture steel or plastics or other types of components. Potentially working with a company that does audiovisual. So,
Mhm.
a production company as well. So we'll target anything, but that's where we've kind of fallen into so far is working in those industries where veterans can make a quick transition. Their veteran
Yeah.
skills can quickly transition into those industries.
And nationwide or just in the Midwest and West
Now,
or
nationwide, we've got
great.
customers in half a dozen states currently.
Great.
So we'll
Wow,
we'll
good
work
for
in any
you.
state. But it's funny as you're talking
Mm.
about being a business owner, had to learn really quickly that you actually have to register to do
Oh,
business
yeah.
in each state. And so if we have a client in Nevada, we have to go register as an
Mhm.
entity in Nevada. That costs money.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
right. Didn't know that at all. So
Yeah.
another running the business fun fact.
We would use, like, payrolling companies, and then it was their problem,
Yeah.
I could pay them a little after ugh, especially in some certain states. How is it working? Do you place people in California, I would assume. How is it working there?
Yeah, we can. We haven't done that yet, but we have a potential. We have a few
Mhm.
companies we're speaking to out here in
Good.
California.
Yeah.
It's always. I think California is kind of a challenge in the veteran side, right?
Mm.
There's a lot of veterans that are from California, and we really want to help bring them back home. To help
Yeah.
them find good careers back home.
Yeah.
But a lot of things that a lifestyle or things that are important to veterans, some other states really emphasize, and
Yeah.
so a lot of veterans tend to relocate to other states.
Yeah. What's some advice, general advice you are giving candidates? So if somebody is listening now, can't apply or doesn't, you don't have any opportunities for them, um, what what do you think in just general terms do you see might help somebody get a placement or improve their resume, et cetera?
Yeah, well, on the resume side, if you go to our website at operationhire.com, we have a resume generator that a veteran can upload a resume. They can fill out a resume there. They can even upload documents like commendations that they've gotten or
Oh,
recommendations. And we use AI to give them a more corporate friendly
cool.
worded resume, similar to what my brother went through with me a
Yeah,
few years
that's
ago.
great.
And we have, as we were building it, we put in all the MOSs and translated those into more of a corporate known job title. So
Wow.
it's 100% free for veterans to use.
Oh, that's
Within a few
awesome.
seconds, it will give them a corporate friendly resume that they can take with them. And it puts their resume in our database. So if we ever get a job that
Smart.
matches their skills, we can get,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's that we can use. And we're working on some enhancements for that. I don't want to get into that just yet, but we're going to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
some pretty cool additions to that pretty soon.
So
Um,
cool.
but the real thing that with veterans is I really, it was advice given to me when I was in college, and I
Mhm,
believe it is like to just take a step back and say what do you really like to do, right?
mhm.
Do you like to work with a lot of other people? Do you like to be left alone to do your job? Do you like to be
Mm.
moving? Do you like to be sitting behind a desk? Right. And I think that is the first step to really kind of doing some self-reflection and say, what is the
Yeah.
type of work that you want to get up every morning and go do? Because I can tell you I've had some jobs, Tiffany, that I didn't like. And I
Mhm.
don't care how much you pay somebody. If they hate going to work every day, they're
Yeah.
eventually going to stop.
Won't last. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And so to do that self-reflection, and then once you have that and say, okay, these are things that I really like to do. Like
Well.
if you're really tactical, like we've worked a lot with maintenance technicians and mechanics and
Mhm.
guys like I just love fixing things and taking something that's
Right.
broken and making it work again. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you know what you want to do. So now let's go find a company that matches your values and that
Yeah.
will value you and allow you to do your best work. Because again, from my experience, I've worked at companies where I felt like I didn't fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I did was wrong. And then I worked at other
Mm-hmm.
companies where I just felt like I fit in, like I was valued. I was allowed to
Yeah.
do my best work. And so it takes
Yeah.
some reflection to kind of look at that as well, to see
Definitely.
what type of companies you want to take your career to.
Yeah.
And we have these conversations with veterans all the time. I'm actually a volunteer as a mentor through 50 Strong's mentorship program. And
Okay.
I've talked with a few veterans transitioning out. I'm happy to talk with anybody else through that program. Well, what I try to do is like with Operation Hired is I'm not the veteran. So I try to bring in that corporate experience
Yeah.
when I talk to vets to say, like they have this rec posted, but they never hire anybody. Well, here's why a company does that. Right.
Yeah.
And, I have a meeting with HR, I have an interview with HR. And I thought, okay, well, here's what HR is going to want to talk to you about. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the goal of that interview from their perspective. So I try to bring that, hey, I don't understand the military and what it's like to be in the military
Yeah.
and be a veteran, but I can tell you what
Yeah.
it's like to be in corporate. Let me walk
Yeah.
you through that.
Yeah, I think that's probably an important piece of your business, and it's makes sense your partnership with your brother because you kind of have the best of both worlds there. So what I can't figure out is why wouldn't a company want to hire you? Why wouldn't a company want to see what candidates? Because it's not like you're charging them to send a resume over. Like that's where I don't understand. What's the objection of getting more free resumes? Like what are you hearing out there?
Yeah, that's $1 million question. Yeah. I think there's a lot of unscrupulous recruiters out there. And so um as a business owner, we've hired vendors and been burned.
Yeah.
And every time now I'm always, you know, I give a little caution every time I talk to a potential vendor to help us in our business. And I think we
Mhm.
get that same thing from other companies. Like, hey, we do great. We don't need you guys. And but we take a lot of meetings with companies that are like, hey, we really support what you're doing. We really support you working
Yeah.
with veterans. We love it.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't need you right now. We don't have any positions, or we're doing really good with our applicants and we're happy with that. But
Yeah.
I just want to support. And it said, I love those meetings, and I said, keep us in mind.
Yeah.
I think with a lot of companies, it's a budgeting thing, and it's again they've been burned. But what I think a lot of companies still think about is like, oh, they think we're just going to go post the job on Indeed and see who applies and send that over. And when I finally get to talk to them, say, no, no, here's all the things that we're going to do
Oh,
for
yeah.
you. We're going to go out. We have the tools and the recruiting software that allows us to go find people. We
Yeah.
can engage with them, because we're getting to the point with AI where people are easy to find nowadays,
Yeah.
but how do you get them to talk to you?
Right.
And that's still the human touch that comes into recruiting.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody could type in a few, I need Java and this and
Mhm.
Python and give me a list of people that have that in their profile. But how do you get those people to actually speak with you on the phone about a job?
Right.
And that's what we're good at. And that's what we go out and do. And so once
Yeah.
we can explain that to companies, I think they see a little bit more of the value in what we can provide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what types of positions do you have open right now that you're filling?
Yeah, we are working on the manufacturing industry is actually doing pretty well. We have quite a few
Good.
maintenance technicians to work at various factories around the country.
Great.
Some are more mechanical, some are more electrical.
Mhm.
We have a audio visual lighting design technician to go out and do like TV
Well, that's
shoots and,
cool.
and things like that we're
Oh,
working
that's
on.
fun.
Yeah, we have some project manager roles again in manufacturing
Mhm.
that we're looking at. And then we have some finance positions. We have some clients that need,
Wow.
financial analysts, accountants, things like that we're looking for.
Yeah, no
All over
wonder
the
you
place,
need
and all in
That's
different states.
awesome. That's awesome. No
Yeah,
wonder you need some partners for recruiters. So how do you
absolutely.
handle that? Do you hire is offshore or just partner with other companies that you know? How's that work?
Yeah, we my first thing is when I look to bring on a recruiter or some help, I really because of right now we're still project based. So
Mhm.
I'll
Okay.
have a recruiter come on and help me with a project. My
Yeah.
first go is there's a lot of veterans out there that are recruiters. There's a lot of military
Yeah.
spouses out there that are recruiters. So that's my first go.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes sense.
you know, I just don't I can't offshore it. Like I can't,
Okay.
I've got to have a veteran or military spouse helping me on this
That
because
makes sense.
yeah,
You believe in your own products, right?
believe in my product.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they bring a great perspective, especially when they are talking to other veterans, which
Hmm.
I don't have that perspective. Uh,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, that's my first go. And
That's
I've
great.
met a lot of amazing recruiters out there that have helped us over time.
I'm
We
sure.
continue to grow that network.
So, what are you guys planning next? Like, where do you want to be in a few years? I feel like I'm interviewing, like, where's your 5 year plan? But I just like, what is your goal overall? You want to retire? Do you want to sell one day? Do you want to pass this on to your kids? What's your vision?
Yeah. I didn't know. And I love sports. So I was watching the Dallas Cowboys documentary, right? And they were talking about Jerry Jones and, his
Okay.
kids help him run the Cowboys. And
Mm-hmm.
he talked about how meaningful it was for him to be able to go to work every day with his kids
Mm.
and to kind of pass that on. And so that
Yeah.
that got me thinking, uh, that might be a worthy goal someday. My kids are in high school now, so we're still
Yeah.
years away from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be amazing. As far as
Yeah.
me, I plan to do Operation Hired. Hopefully, I can make this my last job ever,
That'd be
and
great.
I hope to do this for the next 20 years,
Yeah.
and that would take me into retirement age.
Love it.
Yeah.
And how about your brother? What if he wants to sell in 5 years?
Yeah. I'd be lying
Have
if
you
I said
talked
we didn't
about
have
this
that
at all?
conversation. Yeah. Uh, you can sell it to me,
Yeah, there you go.
uh, he's got kids too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I always just kind of tell him, look, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, man. Like we're not there yet.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
far as us, we really want to grow the company on the commercial side and work with companies to
Mhm.
hire veterans. We also are starting to work with companies on managing the skill bridge process. So it's amazing to me how
Mm.
many companies have no idea what skill bridge is. And so
Yeah.
we are working with companies to say, hey, we can help you get into skill bridge and help you program manage that entire program for
Yeah.
you. So we're working on that. And then we'd also like to get into government contracting. So we've been on some government contracts. We've worked as a subcontractor with some primes on some staffing initiatives. And so we'll be heading to a big government contracting conference at the end of this
Oh,
month in
that's
New
cool.
Orleans to build more relationships there. We'd
Yeah.
really like to get into that as well.
Go back and explain SkillBridge for us, please.
Yeah, so at a very high level, it's a great program. A company can hire a veteran who is nearing their separation date,
Okay.
and the veteran can come in and work at your company for up to 6 months, free of charge to you as an employer,
Wow.
because they are still getting their military pay, their military benefits, and you teach them how to do that job. And the goal is at the end of that 6 months, when they separate from the military, you hire them all as an employee.
Yeah.
So that is the goal. It's a great program for employers to participate in. To sign up for that is quite a process.
I'm sure.
To get approved, the Department of
Mhm.
Defense has to approve you as an employer to
Okay.
participate. So we can help navigate that process. And then once you're
Oh, good.
approved, then you have to go out and recruit the veterans to come work
Yeah.
there, right? It's the same type of recruiting. And so we can work with them to recruit the veterans to come work at the company. There are periodic updates you have to submit to the DoD to say, hey, Tiffany
Okay.
is here. She's doing great. She's doing
Right.
everything we've asked her to do. She's learning this, this, and this. And then at the end of the program, do you make them an offer of employment or not? Kind of help them throughout that entire process.
Oh, that's
So
great.
we can manage
Ha
all that for them.
have you been able to place anybody that way so far?
Not yet. The next
Okay.
Skill Bridge application process for employers is October 1st.
Okay.
So there's
So there's an
only, yeah, October 1st to December 1st is
okay.
this application window. And then the next one would be April 1st to
Okay.
June 1st is the next. So there are certain times you can do it. So now's the time to plan.
So why don't we know about this program? I didn't know about this program and, is it new? Is it just not like that
Yeah.
would have been such a great program. We did my old company, um that we did some volunteering and we did some donations, but the big one we did all the time was with veterans. I would have loved to have applied
Mhm.
for this, and maybe one day I will. So, like, why don't they advertise this stuff more? Or is it just me? I'm under a rock.
No, that's a great question. I didn't know about it either until I got into this, until I started Operation Hired. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been around for a while.
Mm,
And as a company, there are certain parameters you have to meet to even qualify to be a skilled
um,
employer. And once
yeah.
you submit the application, which can be a lengthy application, it takes about 30 to 45 days for the DoD to approve you.
Okay.
Uh, there is quite a few programs out there to help veterans transition on the mill if they want to use them. And so I don't know how well they're advertised. Um, we talk to a lot of people at the transition assistance offices, so they're called TAP, working with veterans transitioning out of the military. Uh, yeah, it's amazing to me that there are programs out there, but how many people don't know about them?
So, I mean, that's a phenomenal program.
Hmm.
And I'll definitely keep that in mind as I grow. I would apply for that in a heartbeat. So what? It's a long application process. It's helping your business,
Well, we
And
could do it for you.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, we
of
could
course.
do that. They allow
That's
we
great.
could be a third party agent to do that
Okay.
application for you. That's part
Oh,
of how we
okay.
can program manage the process for you.
Okay.
We could take it all off your plate. But yeah, it is a great
Cool.
program, especially it gives veterans the opportunity to come out and take a position, see what corporate is like, see if they
Hmm.
like that industry. They don't
Yeah.
have to accept the job at the end of the internship,
Okay.
but it is a good kind of segue
Yeah.
and to kind of baby step their way out of the military into corporate.
Yeah. So, talk a little bit about so you have let's go back and talk about your kids. You have two teenagers,
Yep,
right?
yep. High school,
Um, and how old are they?
15 and 17.
Yeah, that's close in age.
Yeah.
So how is it managing a business and then managing a household? Is it easier? Is it harder? Like, how's the work life? I don't call it balance. I call it
Mhm.
blending. How is that?
Well, I am a single dad, so
Okay.
I do share custody of my kids with their mom. Their mom is super supportive. She's a good friend of mine.
Good.
Uh, it Having that friendship with her definitely makes life a lot easier for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so it is tough. I mean, there's
Mm,
have to leave at 3 to pick up my daughter from school, and so
yep.
I have to make sure I block my calendar to do those
Mhm.
types of things. My son has a baseball game at 4 o'clock. I've got to go. So there's a lot of working early in the mornings, a lot of
Yeah.
catching up late at night. And then the days when they're not here and I don't have to make breakfast or make dinner, I can spend that time catching up on some work. So
Yeah.
you have to be able to deal with the kind of ambiguity, and there's no such thing as a set schedule.
No.
And yeah, there are times when, but I love it. They'll come in. I'm on a Zoom call, and they'll come in, and I'll introduce them to whoever I'm talking to,
Yeah, your
or
son
having enough
popped
of
in
it.
on one of our
Yeah.
meetings one day and then had to tell us he was going to the beach, and, that was annoying.
Cali living. Sorry, it's nice out here today, Tiff. I'm telling you.
I know. I see. I've seen it the whole hour here.
Yeah,
I mean, is it
and
anything
there
it's never anything but that.
yeah, it probably will not. It'll probably be like this for the next few months. Sorry.
Wonderful. Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, it's when the younger, I mean, yeah, it was always, even when I worked at corporate, right? It was like, okay, I got to leave work by 2 to miss the traffic to get to San Jose, take a
Oh,
meeting at Starbucks so I can pick up the kids
yeah.
after school, to get home to take another meeting. A lot of those days, you just kind of do the best you can.
Yeah. How were your employers then? Were there any that gave you a hard time or that were, harder than others to have that schedule with?
No, I mean, I think here in the Bay Area, it's always been kind of fluid and flexible.
Oh, yeah.
I did have one company that, I was like the old man there, and they would throw a meeting on my calendar for 6 p.m. and I was like, guys, like, look, my kids were in preschool at that time. I'm like, I
Oh,
need at least 24 hours notice if you're
oh,
going to put a meeting on
totally.
at 6 p.m. Like,
Yeah.
can't do that, right?
Yeah.
That was probably the hardest thing. I remember one time we were having an all hands HR meeting at 8 a.m. And so I had to talk the guys who did the after school care for my kids into taking them into before school care. And they're like,
Aw.
you're you're not signed up for this. I'm like, listen, just come on, just one day,
Please.
please. And my kids were like, Dad, why do we have school so early? And I'm like, guys, like, I just need today. Like, I've had the, hey, Dad, we were the last kids here.
Yep.
When you're picking us up, we've had all of that.
Yep.
And it's tough, but we're not the only ones in that situation. And we just, you keep plugging on. The kids are the priority.
Yeah.
I will always make time to go to the baseball games, to go to my daughter's cheerleading, to go to her volleyball.
That's good.
To go to their school stuff, and the rest of the world just has to,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I know. You just gave me a flashback of, because I did morning and afternoon daycare for my kids. So I would drop them off at 7 and pick them up at 6. Like, that's a long
It's
day.
a long day. Yeah.
And now I'm working more hours, but they pop in, to my office when they get home from school and irritate me. You know how they do.
Isn't it fun how when
Yeah.
you don't have to pay for after school care anymore, it's like, I got a raise. Like,
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too.
yeah, it's
And
you
the
pay for that.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't miss that at
I
all.
had something else I was gonna say along that lines, but yeah, you just there's no, like, people ask me what TV shows are you watching. I'm like, yeah, not many. Like, I don't have time for that type of
No.
stuff. Like, I work when I can, and I spend as much time with the kids when I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. My oldest he just finished. He started his first year in track. And back when I was working, so I had flexibility and I didn't. Some days I was traveling. I was out, 2 hours away or a plane ride away. So I would miss that stuff. And now, like, all right, I just block my calendar. It doesn't mean that I have half a day.
Yeah.
It just means that, like,
You're
all
not
right,
at the
my
beach?
days. Right. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I totally see kind of what you're saying is, like, it looks like you have this kind of great life and this great
Yeah.
schedule, but the flexibility is nice, but it's not like you have shorter days. They're actually super long and, there's a ton going on. But
Ton
it was
going
nice
on.
I didn't have to ask anybody. I didn't have to tell anybody, "Oh, my kid has a game. I'm gonna have to leave early." Because there's, I don't know, for moms, for me, there was always still that little bit of guilt in the back of my head, and I've worked through that. Eventually, I was like, "All right, forget it. I gotta do what I gotta do." But especially when they're young, you're torn. Do you go? I mean, and I'm a single mom. Do single dads go through that guilt? I don't know. I usually talk to
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
moms. Yeah.
It's harder too, I think, when you have coworkers that don't have those commitments that you do. And so you're
Right.
the one
Oh, right.
ducking out of work at 2 p.m. to
Yeah.
go to baseball, but I'll be online later tonight, and
Right.
everybody else is still working, right?
Right.
I think that's where some of that guilt comes in.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is one time for your kids to say, Dad, like, why are we the last ones here at pickup?
Ugh.
For that
Yeah.
guilt to never leave you, right?
Yeah.
Can I share a story with you real quick? Because
Please.
it's
Absolutely.
really meaningful to me.
Yeah, please.
When I was at Intuit, the CEO was a man named Brad Cook and Brad Smith at that time. And he told this story because he was talking about work-life balance at a company, all hands. And I think about this all the time. He said, as you go through life, there are rubber moments and crystal moments. And he said, imagine you're holding a rubber ball, and you drop it. What happens? It bounces back. So there are rubber moments in your life, like maybe your child's baseball game or their softball game. It's okay to miss one because there'll be another one in a couple of days, right? So there are moments like that. Imagine you're holding a crystal ball and you drop it, and what happens? It shatters. It's never coming back. In your life, there are going to be crystal moments. Your child's birthday, their graduation, things that you determine you can't miss because they're never coming back.
Yeah.
And so how you manage work-life balance is how you manage those moments in your life, and what are your crystal and rubber moments. I never forgot that. And I think about that all the time because, like you, there are times I'm like, buddy, I can't make your baseball game today. I got to work. I got to do. Right. But I know there's another baseball game in a couple of days.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you absolutely cannot miss.
That is great advice.
Yeah.
I've heard glass and rubber, but I've never heard it apply to this scenario. I think that's phenomenal. It just puts it in such a good perspective for you,
Hmm.
for us.
Yeah, it resonated with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been years and I never forgot that story.
And I guess it describes too the culture we're in. It might make you relax a little bit, like, okay, at least, there's some understanding
Hmm.
here. It's surprising they talked about that because it doesn't really get talked about in the workplace, those kinds of
It
things.
it doesn't, right?
Mm-mm.
Especially, most of my career, I'd spent 5 years in Austin. The rest of it was here in the Bay Area, and it's just go, go, go.
Yeah.
I was talking earlier about getting 5 approvals on an offer.
Mm,
I got one time I was making an offer. I got all those approvals between 11 p.m. and midnight,
mm,
right? Because everybody else was still working.
right.
And you go to bed at 11 o'clock and your inbox is empty, and you wake up at 6 a.m. and you've
That's
got
so
50 emails
annoying.
waiting for you. And
Yeah.
that's just the way it is here. That's the way we've always done it. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's nice that people start finally talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be that on when I was I managed because I don't know. I was just like 24/7. But as I matured,
Hmm.
I started doing delayed delivery.
Yeah.
Like, nobody needs to know that I'm working at 2 a.m. I don't need that. First of all, I don't need what do you call it? Like kudos or whatever. I don't need a pat on the back. So,
Hmm.
like, you just start to manage a little bit differently
I
when
that
you're,
that offer story, I actually told that to the candidate because they were
yeah.
impressed that I got them the offer so fast. And my boss
No,
was,
that's different. Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Well, my boss was just happened to be standing there, and I told him, yeah, between 11 and midnight, I got everybody approved. And my boss was like, don't tell him that. You don't want the candidate coming
Why?
in thinking that they're going to have to work at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah, that's the
yeah,
other side of it too. Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm on the
yeah.
phone. And he's like, you know,
Right,
um,
right, right,
yeah, but
right,
I'm the
right.
same way. Like I will do delayed sends. Like I'll hit you up at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
after you had your coffee and you're set.
Outlook warns you now too. It's like, "Are you sure you wanna do this?"
Yeah, I've had candidates like, dude, I got an email from you at 2 a.m. And I'm like,
It's
oh
like,
yeah, I just couldn't sleep.
"Damn." Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've always been curious about your sales process, of course, because I've always been trying to help you with your sales
Yep.
process, but we'll save that conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But what fascinates me is I'm starting my business in a smaller area. So I know where I'm selling, I know where I want to go.
Hmm.
But for you, with your hitting nationwide,
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around where do you even start your morning off if you know you want to sell like where do you go? Like,
Yeah.
where do you
Yeah.
start?
I'd love to get some feedback if people watch this in the comments about what
Yeah.
we're doing. So for us, we have been targeting companies that are a little bit smaller on the number of employees that maybe don't have a dedicated recruiting team. Because we
Yep.
talk to a lot
Okay.
of companies where the HR manager is doing the recruiting,
Mhm.
and we feel like, hey, we can come in and be dedicated to recruiting because I'm sure your HR manager is busy doing HR work, and HR and recruiting are two different things. Like we can take that off
Yeah,
their plate
totally.
and do it, spend more time on it than they can.
Mhm.
Right. So that's where
Mhm.
I think our value add is to go into smaller companies that don't have a dedicated recruiting
Right.
team. We've looked at certain industries where they're booming. And so I've talked to a couple of defense contractors. That industry
Mhm.
is growing right now. Um, and so but those are larger companies. So we're trying
Yeah.
to approach them to say, you got to hire 4,000 people. Like, I understand you have your recruiting team, but we can come in and facilitate some various projects that you have. We could come in and do that recruiting there for you as well. So
Great.
in that instance, it's more about targeting certain companies
Yeah.
and targeting certain people in those companies.
Yeah.
It's a 5,000 person company. You're never getting on the VP's calendar, right?
Right. Right.
Smaller company, you can do that. And so we kind of target, those are kind of like the base of our sales process to say, let's go out and reach those companies.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we try to do posts
Mhm.
on LinkedIn. I try to post as much as I can because I want people to know that I'm a real person.
Mhm.
Like I'll post this video, right? Because I
Yeah.
don't want people to think I'm some AI agent
Yeah.
or, someone sitting in a call center in another country. Like, no, 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 you talk to a real person here.
Mhm.
And so on the sales side, on the commercial side, that's what we do. And then on the government
Okay.
side, we try to target companies that we can go in and say, hey, we could be a subcontractor. You got this big government contract. We can come in and help
Yeah.
you do that as a
Smart. Right.
subcontractor. Right.
Right.
So
Right.
and then there's different avenues that we use to go find the right contact people
Right.
and be able to reach out to them. Yeah.
So geographically, how do you know where to go? Or do you just go in and do a search on LinkedIn and whatever pops up, you sort through?
Yeah.
That's where I just think the world is so big. Where do you start?
Yeah. We tend to go more on the industries and not
Okay.
really focus so much on the location.
Right.
Um, but location is an interesting challenge for companies.
Okay.
And so like I'll use myself as a perfect example. As a big fan of Nike, I never
Mhm.
thought I would work there because I can't relocate to Oregon. And
Mm.
so when I did get an offer to work there, I made sure they put it in my offer letter that this is a remote role. And
Yeah.
and so a lot of companies I think are having a hard time, yes, we want to go to this location because it's a small town, it's very doable on the finance side to put an office there.
Mhm.
But that's hard to get people to relocate there.
Right.
And so we've seen that here in Silicon Valley, like people like, I can't move there. It's $1 million for a house. Like I
Right.
can't move there, or
Yeah.
going to Oregon to work at Nike. So it is location as well for companies. I think that's a big challenge that they have.
Yeah.
As this kind of side note, but on our side, we look at more the industries and the
Mhm.
companies and less so much on the location.
Okay. And like how do you are your positions a lot remote right now? Like your openings right now, are they
No, mostly on site.
okay?
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of remote positions, even on
Wow.
the finance, all those finance roles that we're
I was
working
gonna be a
on.
minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, next question was
they're
like
on
the
site.
admin stuff. Okay.
Couple of
Or office
hybrid.
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think
Interesting.
from reading the news too, you're seeing just a lot more companies wanting
Going
people
back.
at a minimum, hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a good compromise, the hybrid. You kind of get the best of both worlds, I think.
I think so. I mean, as being in this game as long as I have, I remember being on site. I remember getting a desktop, so you couldn't work from home, right?
No.
So we had those, and then we had casual Fridays, right? You can wear jeans and a
Yep, a
sweatshirt or
potluck,
something. Yeah,
right?
to
Yeah.
Fridays, and then it slowly morphed into, people are working from home on Fridays,
Yeah.
right? And I've kind of seen that trend over the years.
Yeah.
And now it's like, especially here in the Valley, like, you don't get on the freeway Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday because other days everybody's going to the office and traffic is a nightmare.
God. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember well, you don't know anything about snow. I don't think you've ever seen it, but
I grew up in
before a
Alaska, Tiffany.
snowstorm.
I grew up in
Well, you didn't
Alaska,
talk
man.
about that. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that. We'll talk about that next. But I remember recruiting and before a snowstorm, printing out lists of candidates from our database and resumes, and we're on our cell phones, like
Yeah.
with no computer, just at home, like grading notes, on
Oh.
those days. Like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I
Oh, well,
can't.
we knew very well what companies were in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I worked at Whole Foods, right, and we would need, executive. Did executive all the way on down, right, recruiting for their headquarters there. Oh, believe me, I was calling Target headquarters in January. Hey,
Yeah.
it's 70 degrees here in Texas. I don't know what it is there. We
Huh.
had our places we would specifically target at certain times.
Yeah. Okay. How many states have you lived in?
I grew up Alaska, California, and Texas. That's where I've
Okay.
lived. Yeah.
So, yeah, how long were you in Alaska, and was this for your dad's job? Was this your choice? How'd you
Yeah,
get up
as a
there?
kid, my dad
Okay.
was an airline executive,
Yeah.
and I say that because everybody always asked me if he was a pilot. um,
Yeah.
so we moved around a lot as a kid, and we lived in San Diego and Carlsbad, and I was in the
Oh,
second grade. We packed up and moved to Anchorage, Alaska, and
wow.
I had no idea what moon boots were or snow, or I didn't own a jacket. I had lived in Alaska all the way through the eighth grade until we moved
Wow.
back to California, to Northern California, when I was in high school. So I went to high
How'd you
school here.
like it there? And was, What is it
I loved it.
like?
Absolutely loved
Did
it.
you really?
Yeah. Because I didn't have to drive in it. And
Okay, yeah, you were a kid in
I
it.
was a
Yeah.
kid. Like, it was a playground.
Right.
In the summer, it doesn't
Yeah.
get dark. And in the
Right.
winter, I was on the ski team. So every day
Okay.
after school and every day on the weekends, I was on the slopes skiing with my
Okay.
friends.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was like the endless playground up there. We had an
Yeah.
acre in the woods. So I had swings in the trees and we'd play in the woods all day. And
Now,
yeah,
what
it
would your
was,
parents say? How would they answer that question? How'd they?
uh, I think my dad liked it because he could easily go hunting
Right.
and do all that. I don't know if my mom really would have liked it,
Right.
having to deal with driving to work when it's 10 below zero.
Oh my
And like, so
gosh.
as a kid, like we'd have to plug
Yeah.
in the car at night. And
Yeah,
so
I've
my
heard
job as a
that.
kid would be to go unplug the car and then start the car
Oh,
5 minutes before we were supposed to leave.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah. I didn't
fun.
know you could plug
Jeez.
cars in, but you could.
I know. I always are they special car? I always used to think that are they special cars you have to
Oh, it's a
buy in
heater.
these
It's a
cold
heater for
places?
the engine block.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You probably know that. Yeah.
Now I
Um,
do. I
yeah,
didn't,
you do. Yeah.
kind of like you have to
Uh,
buy a special car to be up there.
yeah. So, I mean, as a kid, it was super fun. And
Yeah.
then moving to California, it's like I went from one extreme to the next. I didn't own a pair of shorts. I didn't know what Birkenstocks were, you know, all these things.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So, um, what advice would you give somebody who's thinking about starting their own company?
The first thing I would say is I listened to this podcast, this entrepreneur that has started a lot of companies, and he gets asked that question. He always says this:
Mm,
have enough money in the bank to go 2 years without a paycheck. And I at
ooh,
first scoffed at that, but
yep,
man, that is so true.
it is.
It is so true. Because any money you make goes back into the business. I mean, it just costs money to have a
Mhm.
website and to have your email addresses and to have insurance and have the systems that you need to run your business. And I just talked to somebody yesterday, an old coworker of mine that's starting her thing. And I just think, if you believe in it, just keep moving forward,
Mhm.
keep doing it.
Yeah.
I listened to the last podcast that you published, and I remember him saying, the nights are always the darkest, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
That was advice he got. Like
yeah,
you just sit there and spin, your mind spins out of
yeah, and
control.
it's the highs are really high and the lows are
Mhm.
really low.
Very
And
low.
yeah, it's a good thing I
Yeah.
work with my brother because there were some days where he's like, dude, you could you relax.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
I would
think
say just if you believe in it, the money part, the 2 year thing, I think is absolutely
that's
true.
smart.
And you got to keep plugging away. You just can't give up. You can't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would be so easy to give up because
it
those
would.
lows are like that's where you get, where you really get tested.
And I get calls like people that I worked with, like, "Hey, Sheridan, we have an opening for a recruiter. How's your business doing?" I'm like, "No, man,
That's
I'm
funny.
going down with the ship, man. I am in this for the long haul."
How many calls do you get? Sheridan, no one's calling me. What does that
Oh.
say?
Well,
Nobody's
I
trying to
listen, on
recruit
on
me.
another note, that is the beauty of networking. I have applied for one job in 15 years because
Ah,
I
there you
knew
go.
people
Yeah.
that would say, "Hey, we're hiring over here, Sheridan. What do you think? You want to come over?"
Yeah.
It's
That
work.
really
It's
is.
maintaining good relationships with the people that you work with,
Yeah.
constantly networking because a lot of it is who you know. And
It really
if you
is.
do good work and you get along with others, there will be opportunities for you.
I've
Yeah,
had so much fun the last year networking. So
yeah.
much fun. It's been like because you're just those are the calls that you can just relax. You don't have to be, on your best game. And you just get I just have gotten so much out of it. I've met the coolest people.
I love it as well, especially like because we're in the service business. Like I don't make a product that I can just go sell for 10%
Oh,
less than everybody else, right? And so
totally.
more advice I would say is that it took about a year for people to take us seriously. You know,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
first year, you're like, "Oh, we've been in business for 9 months." You're like, "Okay, like, because
Mhm.
are you still going to be here next year, right?" And
Yeah.
when we started showing up at conferences for the second time, and we're
Mhm.
now going for the third time this month, all of a sudden people now are a little bit more interested in what you're saying because
Mm,
you have some length behind when you started your company. And so
yeah.
you're a little bit more legitimate now that you've been around a little bit.
Right.
And so it just takes that time.
Right.
But also, like you said, networking. I go to the Chamber of Commerce events here in town. I try to just meet as many people as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Even I just work on my pitch. Sheridan, what do you do? And I work on
Yeah.
my pitch,
Right.
and it's great. You meet some really fascinating people and interesting people. So I 100% agree with you on the networking.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be known for when people
Ooh,
remember you?
what do I want written on my tombstone?
Mm-hmm.
I really want to, at the end of the day, I want to be that voice for veterans. I want to be able
Mm.
to say, hey, that guy, he did some good work. Like he helped me, he helped
Yeah.
us. Um, you could write on my gravestone that he was a good guy. Like, uh, that's, that's what I want Operation Hired and me to be is that, hey man, they helped,
Yeah.
they did some good work.
Love it.
That's the goal.
So how do tell us how we find you if you're a candidate, a client, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, obviously. If you
Mm.
Google me, you're going to get a lot of college dormitories. There was a Civil War general with the last name of Sheridan, so there's a lot of
Okay.
buildings named Sheridan Hall. So,
Oh,
but
there you go. Fun.
yeah, but
Okay.
my LinkedIn profile will come up, and that's a great way to reach me. And then
Great.
also through our website, operationhire.com. That's where our resume generator is. You can find that there. We have our careers page, and you can just reach out to me directly. I check those every day.
Your resume generator seems phenomenal. I think that's such a great idea.
It's I
And,
Yeah, someone who stared at a blank piece of paper and said, "Write your resume," is
oh,
really tough. And
even as
so
a recruiter, like, knowing what to put on there, nobody wants to do that. It's terrible.
right, yeah. And so this one, it will do it all for you, and you can take it
Great.
with you and use it to apply to
Great.
any job you like at anywhere you like. And I always tell candidates, like, listen, I'm not the only game in town. Talk to other recruiters, talk to other agencies. They may have a job that's a great fit for you. Don't just talk to one. You broaden your search, and
Yeah.
we have that tool that can help you do that. And we'll
Is
have
there
some new updates to it soon.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. You're, like, kinda dangling that
Yep.
carrot there. Can't wait.
We'll see.
So, is there anything that, we haven't talked about that people should know about you and your business?
That's a great question. I think we really want to help hire the best people. And
Mhm.
so we feel veterans are a great resource for your company and they bring a lot of really great experience to the table. And we just want to be that connection.
Yeah.
And so we believe in it, heart and soul. That's why we're doing this. And we're here to help. And so I'm happy to volunteer as a mentor as well. Um, I've talked to college students, veterans at the universities about navigating, searching for a job and how to go about that and picking companies. I'm happy to do those, give more of those as well. Anything that we can do to help.
Great. Well, that was one of the things that I was intrigued with, when we first talked because, it's like you get so wrapped up in things and I always want to do more. And, I don't know. I had a few military in my family, but it's not super close to me, although I have the utmost respect for it. So that's something that I'm drawn to and feel like we should all be doing a little bit more. Would you guys have any volunteer opportunities? Would you consider that down the line?
Absolutely. We absolutely would consider it.
Great.
We just have to find the right opportunities for that. Uh,
Yeah.
I'd love to get to a position where I can work with veterans and train them how to be a recruiter. Right.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, project manager. I would love that as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me as somebody who's never been in the military, but a lot of times veterans like they complete their enlistment, they leave the military, and then it's like, well, what do I do next? Where to
Yeah.
go? And that's
Yeah.
where I feel like we could come in and at the very least give you a point in a direction to go.
Right.
Right? We can't hand you a job, but we can tell you here's how to go about getting one.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, I think what you're doing is phenomenal. I love your business. I think that I hope I see in your future, you guys blowing up and getting the word out a little bit more. So, and I want to thank you for coming on here today. We've been talking about it for a while.
Great.
Finally got you nailed down. And I can't wait to see what's next for you guys.
Oh, Tiffany, I can't thank you enough for having me on your podcast. This has been an
You
amazing
got it.
experience. I've loved working with you so far, and looking forward to
Same.
continuing working with you.
Yeah,
And
I think
thank
we're
you so
stuck with
much.
each other now,
I think so.
right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that. All
Yeah.
right. All right, Sheridan. Well, thanks again. We'll
Yep.
talk to you soon.
Thanks, Tiffany.